So guess what? I put my little sister in great danger. Like, what was I thinking? All I had to do was babysit, but I ended up being the worst babysitter ever. I mean, putting her in great danger sounds pretty bad, right? I'm Colby, and I've just turned 15. I give you my annoying, stupid, pathetic, dramatic, and annoying, did I say annoying already? My younger sister Kitty, who is obsessed with insects and wants to be a bumblebee. She couldn't leave me alone for 1 minute. She wanted attention all the time. And she whined and whined and whined if she didn't get her way. I mean, tears would just pour. Mostly because she wanted chocolate with everything and Dad always refused. So she'd cry some more and more. She thinks that just by crying, she will get her way. And Dad would just gradually give in, to just shut her up probably. And if the crying wasn't enough, another super annoying thing she did was play the mimic game. You know the one, where you copy whatever the other person is saying. She knows it drives me absolutely crazy, and she kept it up for hours, as, let's face it, she's 8 and has nothing much else to do. I tried to stay away from her as much as I could. But it was impossible. I saw her first thing in the morning. When I got in from school, and last thing at night. But it was okay, as I hung with my friends after school most of the time. We all loved playing video games and going for bubble tea. We also never missed a party if there was one. Sorry about my dancing there, but honestly, I'm having fun. And there was also a certain lady in my life, Nat. Well, when I say in my life, I actually mean I wanted Nat in my life. If only I plucked up the courage to talk to her. Anyway, back to the story. More on how my love life turned out later. One day, everything changed. Dad told me that he needed to work longer hours as we needed the money. My mom wasn't around, you see, to help, and hadn't been since I was really little when she left. In fact, for a while, when I was younger, I thought our next-door neighbor, Mrs. Fairfax, was my mom. Weird, I know. It's just because she'd bring food around all the time and clean and babysit. Hey, fun tangent. She always thought I was this sweet little angel until one day, my drone cut off the heads of all her prized roses. She vowed she'd get revenge after that, but they grew back, so Dad said that I had to look after Kitty after school until he got home. I said that it wasn't fair, that I had important things to do, like see my friends and play video games. Oh, and I needed to study. But he said as he had no choice, I had no choice, and it would only be temporary. And so every day after school, I'd look after Kitty. I cooked her favorite food to shut her up, but that wasn't good enough. Seriously, she has to stop with the crying. I even tried tiring her out, day after day, week after week, then weeks became months. I was sick of missing out hanging with my friends. It wasn't the same playing video games in my room on my own all the time. It really wasn't fair. And then, one night, I got a text about a really cool meetup that my friends were going to, and Nat was going to be there. But Kitty was too young to be left alone, and I couldn't sneak her in with me to the party because she'd definitely tell on me to Dad, as well as generally kill it for me. So I told my friends I couldn't go. They suggested I only pop out for an hour, and I thought, that's not that long, is it? I just had to get Kitty to fall asleep, and she'd never know. Dad would never know. I said, it's bedtime, Kitty. And finally, she fell asleep. I really thought that no one would ever find out. I was having the best time at the party. And then, Nat showed up, and I was all like, hi, how is it? What's going on? I did not want her to leave this time. But I lost track of time, and then I couldn't find my keys. Then I realized that there was really loud music coming from the house. I couldn't have Kitty injure herself. Dad would never forgive me. I'd never forgive me. I'd have to bribe Kitty, sure, but that was fine. She could have chocolate on anything and I'd play with her whenever she wanted. I was so grateful I could get back in the house. But Kitty decided to be Kitty. Oh no, I thought. I'm going to be in big trouble now. Then I saw that Kitty's window was open. This was my chance to get in. So I climbed up the drain pipe. I was so relieved when I got into Kitty's room. All I had to do was turn the music off, clean up the broken glass, get rid of all the junk food. Dad would never know. But then I said, "You need to open the door right now." And what did she say? You guessed it. She said, "You need to open the door right now." And I said, "Don't you dare play the mimic game." And she said, "Yes, you guessed it. Don't you dare play the mimic game." What had I done? Why did I leave? It was so selfish of me. I could have called Nat on the phone like a normal person. Kitty was my little sister, and I'd be so upset if anything happened to her. There's broken glass in there, and she thinks this is all a game. And you'll never believe what I did next. Did I run away? Did I call Dad? No, I did this. I couldn't help but bawl my eyes out, just like Kitty does. I told her how sorry I was, how I shouldn't have gone and I deserved to be locked up. And I knew I would never leave Kitty like that again and take my responsibilities seriously. I couldn't believe I'd got away with it. But then... So it turns out that Mrs. Fairfax saw me go up to the drain pipe and called the police. She said she didn't realize it was me, but I didn't believe her. I told the truth about what happened, and Kitty kept pleading with them not to lock me up. And there was a small part of me that thought, I wonder if there's any chance that Dad might not ever find out. I told Dad how very sorry I was, and I'd never do anything like this again. I thought he'd ground me, yell at me, give me the silent treatment, or kick me out. And to my surprise, he didn't. He said that he was sorry too, that he'd put too much pressure on me and would find a way to make it better. I needed to do my schoolwork and play video games. And the best thing was that Dad talked to Kitty about me needing my own space, and she had to understand that I couldn't play all the time with her, that my room was my room, and she shouldn't just barge in. And she was much better. And Dad sorted out working remotely, so I didn't have to look after her all the time. And Kitty learned not to demand his attention all the time. And now, I babysit Kitty without being asked. And it's been so great getting to know her. And as for Nat and I'm going on a date with her next week. And as for Mrs. Fairfax, I'll have my revenge. Let me know in the comments if you want to know what I did. Kitty!